This is the Danelectro with a broken neck. What I'm doing right now is a final sand down on it. I'm taking out all the old poly finish to it. So I need to put a new one on. I'm taking all the old imperfections out as well, so I'm sanding it anyway. I'm taking all the old dents out, and I'm making it as smooth as can be back for this guitar neck. They had quite a few, poly runs as well as dents that were in it. You see a little dent here, tiny little things like that were much bigger. And I'm making this thing as smooth and as fast as I can, but I've got to put a poly coat on there to seal the liquid wood. Otherwise it'll just continue to chip off. So here's what we have. We have a nice smooth poly, non-poly neck up to the head, up to the repair mark. Okay, it's nice and smooth all the way up, right? And once I get a nice damp cloth to remove any other sanding off this, I'm going to go ahead and put on the first coat of poly. Now, for the first time, I'm using a 3-ply thick poly on this, and it's something new to me, but it's triple thick. Now I kind of like it. I've tested it on a piece of board with a hole in it with liquid wood in it for an exact test. It came out pretty darn nice. So this should come out as nice. Alrighty. So the next step is to clean off this neck, get all the dust off of it. I'm using just a damp cloth, just plain water, and staying away from the liquid wood as much as I can. Just like that. Get all the old dust off. Get one more look, make sure I got all the poly off of it and all the dents I can take out. Now some dents are too deep, I can't take them out. I'd end up making a bigger dent, if you know what I'm talking about. And of course the next step after that is shake up all the dust that I created by sanding it off my mat. Now I'll probably just flip that over for now. And once again I'll spread out my cloth and get my poly ready, shake it up nice and well, and get ready to put the first coat on this. But first, before I do anything, I've got to tape up the side of the fretboard. I don't want that dripping over onto that. I don't want it touching that board. Okay, here we go. I pay my attention, put my attention back on the neck itself, and get that poly opened up. So I'll shake it up a little bit more. And this stuff really needs to be shaken up more than just with my hands. I may need to get a stick out here and stir it some, but it's really thick. You'll see it when I open this up. And the trick is to put it on there, thin even coat, just like this. And make sure you cover everything the first time. And you may think, well, you know, what's he doing with that so thick? Well, guys, believe it or not, what I'll do afterwards, I'm going ahead and I'll be doing some wet sanding on this, like 3 different times. So there's a little bit thicker in spots as it dries. That's okay. One more time just to get some of those heavier ridges out, like that. See how thick this stuff is. Try to keep it straight. There we go. Now we're going to let time and air get to this, and then it's going to be a wet sanding. And then we're going to start applying more coats. And I don't think it should take more than 3 coats to do this job. The main thing again is to seal the wood putty. Okay, well, we just got to going over the details of the counterfeit that came in. And now let's see what we got on these well soaked sandpaper. That's really soaked. Alright. Give it a little shake. And what I'm doing, guys, I'm just taking off the top of the surface with this. Just very gently. You can see it's turning just a little bit white. And what it's also doing is taking off those little bitty imperfections on there. See this? But it's not taking, you know, just massive amounts of poly off with it. You don't need to do that. With some stronger grit, you know, the drips that took place. You can see it's doing pretty well right now. Doing a good job. I'm going to go up and down the whole part. Now this part here is a nightmare. I've got to redo this completely. Once I get it leveled again, this part has gotten redone. I need to take it down though with some stronger sandpaper and get it back to normal again. Because unfortunately it dripped and I didn't catch it. You know? You can just do so much. Of course, you can get in there and just, you know, dip your paper again, keep it wet, don't let it dry out on you. And try not to let it curl up on you either. So those get tossed. This gets dried off completely, front and back. I got some drips on the front, darn it. Didn't even see that. And I've got some polish still on there. Or some polish still on there, but that is so nice and smooth like a baby's bottom. That's what you want to see. Now remember, it's not a restore, it's just a fix. Okay? Didn't ask me to restore, just asked me to fix it. That's where we are. Right? So next we'll be using more aggressive paper to get the globs out on this one side that decided to drip on me, as well as remove this blop that's on the front. It just came popping right off. Sorry. Just kind of popped off there. There's a drop of it there and it'll run. Get those off my finger now. And clean that all up. Alright, so hang in there. Okay, so we're getting ready for the second multiple coats on this. And we'll see how thick this stuff is. It's like milk. You see that? It's like milk. But man, this stuff really does a good job. You know, I'm really impressed with it. As long as I'm not so stupid as to let it build up into a blob. I gotta remember to stroke the stuff and get it to spread. Okay guys, well, I'm just about there to do the buff out on this damn electro. I gotta get extra poly off of it. Pat that down, sorry. Sand that down with wet water paper, or wet sandpaper, wet water paper. And I'm going to use an old favorite of mine. It's NK polish. When it comes to sticks, it never fails to run out of the white. That's what you see on the Chinese guitars. That's what they're using. And of course, after the years of using this stuff, it comes in all colors for your guitars. Okay, show you this. Different finishes, different colors. And of course, you want to get a different wheel for each, color. So I use a one wheel for the lighter color, and another color for the darker, another wheel for the darker colors. And the trick is not to, as you would think, just go up and down it like this to pick up the polish. You go across, because you end up putting a rut in it, splitting it in half, and make it hard to use. So you take, and of course, just as I'm filming, my wire to my transformer pops out of the camera. Smart way just to conserve your stuff. Looks like FedEx is about 15 minutes past today. That's good. Anyway, let me show you what the wheels we use. I got a new one of these because my old one is just too clogged. I put this on my hand drill. It's nice and soft. And what you just put it up against the product and just let it spin, okay? I need to tighten it up. Now this is a split one, right, for different types of finishes. Like the poly I'm using on this, I'll be using this, okay, on this neck. This neck here, alright? And for others, I use a wheel like this. It's more solid, right? Put a higher sheen on it, more pressure. But on the Dan Electro, I just want to get it back down to, where it feels like it's bare wood, but I can't have bare wood because of the repairs I've done to it. It's got to have that poly on there to keep that liquid wood from coming off. That's the last thing we want to happen. Okay, so anyway, hang in there while I pull out this wet sandpaper and show you the grits I'll be using for my final. This is my third poly up for my final wet sanding. Okay, we're going to get the sandpaper out of here and get the right type. Alright. I don't want 300 anymore, that's too abrasive. I want to go to 600 if I can find it. I think I still have some left in here. That's 180, that's way too harsh. Oh, let's get this. You go with 400. Nah, it's still too harsh. You get up there and the higher rating. I think you go to 600 if I have some. I thought I had some left, darn it. Hold on, guys, while I put through this, try to find that paper. There it is, 600. I want to start 600. One sheet of that. Put that into my water bucket there. I'll put a little slide guitar on that. Keep that down in that water. And I want to go something very much higher. Okay. This is 3,000, so I want to put those two in there. Make sure they get soaked thoroughly for about 10 minutes. Flip the water off of them, then bring them to the finish. And you get these last bits of imperfection out of this guitar, these little dots, little dings, little extra poly that should not be there. Get that off of there. Clean out these holes for the tuners, as well as the mounting holes on this, and get those squared away. Get the tuners back on, get mounted back up to the body, put some strings on it, tune it up, and play it for y'all. Then have to call the owner up and say, hey, come get your guitar, it's ready to rock and roll. Alright, so this has got soaked for about 10 minutes. It's only been there a couple. I want to get it thoroughly wet. That's what you want to do, all of it. So I'll put some weight on it. Otherwise it just comes right back up again. It does a half-assed job of it. Okay, so extra polish off that dark stuff and all that. Then be right back. Okay, so we're going to start off with the lower level, 600, yes it is. The gray one, keep that in there. Kind of whip off the extra water. The 600, we'll start with the 600 and just gently go over this thing. Get rid of any imperfections that are left on it. Any blobs of poly. What usually ends up is little tiny, like little pin level TV-like things that pop up off the body. See, there's not much coming off this at all. That's the way it should be. You only take off lots and lots and lots of finish. I need to go about 200, 240, somewhere in that range to get this extra off here. There it is, some 240. Okay, so get some 240 on that. Get it in the water. Get that soaking in there. And this is going to come up, you know, like crazy because of its buoyancy. It's not been wetted yet, so I really got to get this darn part on it. Like that. Now it's down in there. Okay, so when you're buying this stuff, guys, never buy full sheets of wet sandpaper. You're going to pay way too much. The smart thing to do is buy an assortment of it from like 120 up to 4,000. You get like 3 or 4 sheets of each of it, you know. That way you got a pretty good stock what you need to do this kind of job. So hang in there, guys, while that soaks. Alright, so in the meantime, while that paper soaks, I got these 2 different chisels. Right, see those little fine tips they got on. I'm going to come in here on this head. I'm going to try to do this in the camera's range. Whoopsie, so I can see what I'm doing. Get this extra poly off here. And all I want to do is pull off the poly, no wood. And it's coming off just perfectly. It's coming right off there. There's not much of it, but there's some on there. I don't want that off. And this is just taking it just barely off and not taking any wood with it. There's not a lot on there, but that's pretty much it. It's back to the way it was, kind of dirty, messed up looking. And like I said, you don't want to push too hard. You just want to kind of let the blade do the work to get that poly off there. Not dig into that wood at all. And this, on the back of the headstock, is what's coming off of that extra grit sandpaper. Oh, and then for the 3000 on the back to finish up this polish up job with the paper. And after which, what I'll do is polish it using my hand drill and a buffing wheel. Okay, that more abrasive paper should have had a long time sitting there now. I had to check out for a while. It's 240. And that's going to do the back of the headstock. Get all that extra water off there. Keep away from the electrics. So we're going to do this as best I can on the camera. But I've got to get that light a little better somehow. Just not there yet. Okay, there. Now I can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to even this out on the back and sides of the headstock. And the front, I want to leave alone. And right there on the curvature of the neck. That needs to be addressed as well. Now I'm going to keep using that wet part. so I don't get down into the wood. Slide across there nicely and nicely and smoothly. Smooth is the word I was looking for. And of course later on I'll go through and open up those drill holes. Make sure they're not clogged. I put the tuners back on. Push to get them started, because the screw is going to do most of the work. But I don't want to get those in there threaded badly. So out comes the poly. Alright. Those are all nice and clean again. The tuning holes will be fine as they are. I don't need any extra work to them. Need to clean out on those. But I do need to finish this up with some 3000. Which is right here, this gray paper here, and finish off the job. Again, just kind of flip off the excess. And you can't tell you're much sanding it, but it is doing a job. It is finishing it up. See, it's a light amount of poly coming off. That's what you want. So just a minuscule amount. You're just flattening out that surface, basically microfiber type of thing. Just making it nice and smooth again. You see that little kind of color to it? That's the poly coming off. I'll take a piece of cloth, wipe this off, let it dry. And then get my buffing wheel set up to buffer up. So that's the end of the poly sanding. Alright, so that paper can go in the trash can. It's never a good idea to try to use old wet sandpaper again, you know. It just doesn't do a very good job. So hang in there, guys. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm going back and I'm just going to dry this off. And it's already as slick as a snot, right? Just around that repair mark. You can't feel that at all. It's like it's disappeared on it now. So there we go. And that's about the finish I want. But we're going to put a little bit of polish on this job. So hang in there while I set up my drill to polish this up and get it finished and back on the guitar. Okay guys, it took me a while to find my drill, but look at this. This is the bit that was on my drill and I forgot. I wound my shop drill to my better half so you can drill deep holes into stumps to pour, you know, junk down there to kill them more, the roots. That is one heck of a drill bit. Like I said, guys, have everything you possibly can in your shop when it comes to tools. It seems like I've got them. I sure have paid for them. Alright, so you want to get this on there balanced. Right? And that's not balanced. Oh boy, you're running some problems. And I thought this may be a problem when I got this type of spindle. With my particular type of drill. There it goes. Now it's on there nice and balanced, and it's not just critical, but it's important, you know. So I can get a better, you know, work on the poly. So what I'm going to do next is toss away this old sandpaper water and poly water. Throw that outside. And come back and compound up my wheel. Okay, let's try it again. So we have some freewheeling going on. Like I said, take it at this angle, like this. That's doing it. Okay, now we're getting some polishing compound on the wheel itself. Alright, there we go. See that? So, now the time to take it across the part itself. What you want to do is go up and down it, up and down it. On the sides, all around. And like I said, I'm not trying to put a high gloss finish on this, because that's not what it came with. I'm just trying to put a finish on it so it's smooth to his hand. You don't do this fast, just want to take it across and just spin it around. And get it all around it. Alright? That's exactly what I'm going for right there. Okay. Still have some excess poly on here I gotta get off. I want to just get it finished first. And that's it. That is slick as a baby's butt. Okay? That's what you want. That's how it should be done on this type of wood where you don't want a high poly finish. It does shine, guys. It does. Compared to what didn't shine before. But that's, unavoidable because you've got to have that on there. Protect the work you did, okay? Okay, guys, what I've done, I introduced some liquid wood, which is stronger than wood putty, into the split to have the tangs to hold on to, and some Stu-Max super glue. Well, I had to actually go in and carve a channel for the tang on the fret, and get that to stick in there like that, so it would go into that wood, that liquid wood, so hard. And it does cut just like wood cuts. So we'll give that 24 hours set up. We'll put a nut on there for him. It didn't come with a nut. We'll put one on there for him. String it up and finish some touches up on it. Pretty much in good shape right now to play. And let him come get his guitar. So hang in there. Okay, well, we got the Dan Electro's neck fixed up pretty well. Still little tidbit things to do to it, make it fit a little bit better, take care of that broken spot on it. I just can't believe that it did that, but stuff happens. So now we're going to just put screws back into the neck. This should fit very readily. Nice, good, tight fit. And the trick to this is not to over tighten these screws, just get them in there. Let them do their job past that carriage area. And there it be. Okay. Sorry, there it be. Back on the guitar again after weeks being off of it. Well, dust on this guitar. Been in my shop for a while. Anyway, should play nice. So cut back or hang in there while I put a temporary nut on it. It didn't come with one. That got lost. And see what we can do to get this thing playing again. Okay, guys, here it is. A little Dan Electro. Let me play it for you for a second. Going through the pickups and the switches and stuff, just Hi guys, David in Texas here with a big wad of cotton in his mouth. I'll tell you that story some other time. But we got the Dan Electro guy here with his neck just fixed. Introduce yourself, tell us about what was done to your guitar.
Yeah, so my name's Josh Arnell, and the guitar was was dropped and the neck snapped in two. And I didn't even know, but the actual electrical component here was broken too, and it's amazing. It feels just like it did when it was purchased, and yeah, it's really cool. So
we'll hear a little bit from it. Go ahead and play something. Oh yeah. Let's try this real quick.
Okay.
Let's get crazy. All right, go ahead. Okay, guys, here we are. Got a little oak guitar going again, and go play a little bit more on it.
Okay.
Play through the pickups.
Wow, that's cool.
Alright, well, let's try this.
Okay.
Play it through what we get. Okay, all right, that should do it. Thanks very much. Guys in Quest, give me a holler. They're in Texas. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.